If you're new here, my name is Maria and I am a Canadian living in Italy. And on this channel I share all about my making adventures. So I design knitting patterns. Most of them are sock knitting patterns for the moment, but one of my goals for the year is to also start to design sweaters, garments in general. And I also sometimes talk about sewing and a bit of crochet. And sometimes I knit other people's patterns. Rarely these days, but today I will talk about one of those. So yeah, I was making my sort of like year overview of which designs that I want to release. Mostly for the garments, because those I am noticing take a bit more planning, because for example I wanted to write up a spring garment, but then it's like already too late for that, because by the time that I write it, I knit it, I send it for tech editing, we do the test, then it's like not spring anymore. So yeah, I was doing a bit of planning like that, and I realized while doing that I also have a lot of projects on the needles that I think just like need to get finished before I can really dive into other exciting things. So I think that I will take the next 2 weeks, hopefully, to just clear the needles. That's the goal anyways. So I have a few projects and I'll probably like take you along with me as I get that done. I have 2 sock projects, 1 blouse, 1 tank top, and a cushion cover. Also a sewing project that I'm hoping I'll get around to, but let's see. So I guess I'll start talking about the socks because that's my priority. So these are the Linaria socks. Linaria is a flower. I think it's also called toad flax in English. And I'll pop in a picture from Google. It's basically like very linear and like pointy at the top, and there's like little clusters of petals. So I was inspired to make this little floral motif, and so that's why I called the Linaria socks. And I'll dive into this a bit more. But yeah, I want to finish these now because this test knit starts tomorrow, and as you can see I have 1 sock, but my second one is still in progress, and I don't think it's a big deal to start the test with 1 sock done because they are both the same. So I know that it should work, but yeah, I want to finish it so that I can also take pictures eventually for pattern release and everything. So that's priority number 1. And I hope you can't hear in the background, there is some construction just outside this window. We are still, by the way, at the in-laws house. Our bathrooms are getting renovated in our apartment, and they were supposed to take 2 weeks, but we've been here for almost 3 months now. So we're hoping to move back in our house soon. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with at the moment. I hope you can't hear that outside. But yeah, so the Linaria socks. So there's an Estonian inlay flower motif that runs on both sides of the leg. And so because of that, so like I work my socks always on 9-inch circular needles, but if you were to work it on magic loop traditionally with like the front stitches and the back stitches, this is what it would look like. But since I wanted to put the floral motif right on the side like this, I had to, like, basically the beginning of round is like at an odd space, like here, then this would be your front and back. But then when you are ready to do the heel, we work the heel on the back stitches. So on the stitches that are between the 2 motifs here. And it's quite simple construction wise. It's something that I've never done before, and I'm not sure it has a name. I haven't seen this exactly before, but if you know what this is called, if it has a name, please let me know. But basically, when you are ready to work the heel, you do increases here along both of the motifs, and then once you reach the stitch count needed for your size, you do a few short rows. So the short rows extend the sock by about this much, and so the middle of the heel is like in the middle of those short rows. So once the short rows are done, then we do decreases to get back to the same stitch count as before, and we continue knitting. So yeah, if you know if this heel has a name, let me know. I would love to know. But yeah, this worked top down or cuff down, and the cuff is a half twisted rig cuff. And then, like I was saying, you work an Estonian inlay floral motif here along the leg, and the toe is just a regular wedge toe like this. And I did film a tutorial for the Estonian inlay motif. There are a few already on YouTube that are really good, but there were a little things that I wanted to add. Basically just the way that I wrote my charts, like because of the way this is worked on one of the rounds, so on all even numbered rounds, you need to like create a loop so that your strand is now at the right place. So I put those in bold in my charts, which I don't think people necessarily like flag that usually. But yeah, so I just wanted to explain how my charts are made and how to read them and how to work this motif. So I hope that will be useful. And yeah, the other thing to note that I also mentioned in the tutorial is the yarn management for this, because Estonian inlay, basically you're working like kind of back and forth here, one motif at a time, so they're worked separately. So that you don't have like long floats on the wrong side to connect the two motifs. Like you see here, they're not connected. This is what the floats look like. So yeah, since you're working two motifs, which each uses 2 strands each, plus the main color, you have 5 balls of yarn total. So in the tutorial, I show you how to manage your yarn so that it's a bit easier. And as you can see here, the sock that I'm working, so there is 1 strand or 2 strands held together for one motif, 2 for the other one, and then your main color. And both of these strands, like for one motif you have 2, I'm holding them together in a little bag. It looks a little bit funny, but yeah. The other option that I don't have in front of me, I'll go and get that and come back in a second. So the other option is to use a yarn bobbin like this one. I didn't buy this, I just cut out this shape with one slot here. I don't know if you can see it. Doesn't want to focus. Yeah, there's like opening here to make sure that your yarn stays secure, and there's also one inside so that when you start to wrap your yarn around, it stays secure there too. But yeah, you can also use a handmade yarn bobbin or buy them. I think you can buy them like plastic or wood. Or use little bags for managing the yarn to make it a bit easier. And yeah, so I just need to finish the second one, and then everything is ready for the test to start tomorrow. And yeah, I'm excited to see what colors the testers come up with. This is always the best part for me for the test knits. I don't know why, I just really enjoy seeing what kind of yarn people decide to use, like their interpretation basically of this design. So yeah, let's get started. I need to finish this sock. Before we start, I forgot to mention the yarn that I'm using is the Woollentwine Ovis sock. This one is the color Peony, and the fluffy one that I'm using, so I'm using 2 strands of the Holst Garn Lucia, which is what I had in my possession when I started to think about this design. But I have since swatched with, because you can use 2 strands per motif of a fluffy yarn, like a suri or baby alpaca silk blend type of thing, or you can also use 2 strands of fingering weight yarn. So here I swatched with also the Woollentwine Ovis. So this is holding 2 strands of the Woollentwine Ovis for one motif. This is what it looks like. It does give it a different look. Like this is a bit more crisp and strong. This is a bit more blurry and fluffy. So it depends what you're looking for. The next day. I was planning to finish the pair of socks last night, but I got sidetracked by an idea that I got for a summer design, and I really wanted to swatch immediately, so I did that yesterday instead. But this morning I sat down and I just finished the second sock. So this is what it looks like pre-blocking and after you block it. And yeah, I actually realized, I think when I was almost done, I was like, here, I realized that in my gusset, I made a little mistake in the chart. So basically this motif has one unique flower at the top, and then the rest is like a 4 flower that repeats all the way along the leg. And I think that I repeated the same flower twice here. These 2 are the same, so it means that on both of my socks, which are obviously the same length, we don't end on the same motif. I think it's not too noticeable because it's not like very obvious that those are all different. But yeah, I wasn't going to frog when I noticed that. Yeah, that's, I guess, one of my whips done. And the next one that I want to finish is my Mohair Blouse. And it's been living in this bag for a while now. I just kind of set it aside for some time. I don't remember where it was last time, but I have finished one sleeve. The body is done, but it's curling. I'm hoping blocking will help. And then I started working on the second sleeve, and then I abandoned it for some reason. But yeah, if we look at it like this, yeah, I have maybe like half of the second sleeve to left to knit, and then I'll be done. So this is going to be pretty quick. But yeah, I think I'll keep this for when I need a stockinette project. But I'm hoping to finish this over the weekend. Let's see. just finished my Mohair Blouse. I was working on it this weekend and I just finished it this morning, and the lighting is strange right now, but I'm going to try it on for the first time, and then it's going to be blocked, and after it's blocked probably I'll talk about it a bit more, and I already know there's a few things that I would like to change, so I'll talk about that after. I forgot my blocking mat at home, so I'm just gonna use this couch, but obviously without pinning it. Hopefully it's still going to be fine. It's probably not gonna be fine. I think I really need to pin it. So I guess it's gonna have to wait until I'm home. Well, it'll have to do for now, and I'll block it properly when I get home so that hopefully the bottom edge won't roll like this, and also the little scallops here at the collar, hopefully they will lie flat. Otherwise, I'll put an elastic inside so that it ties everything together. Let's see. Just finished my morning yoga session. It was actually more just like stretching this morning. But yeah, I went upstairs to do that, and I found my mohair blouse that I had forgotten there. I blocked it there a few days ago and just forgot about it. So I just tried it on and I really like the fit. When I tried it on pre-blocking, I wasn't sure about a few things, but now I am really happy with it. The only thing is the collar band with the little ruffles, not ruffles, scallops. It's not lying flat how I would like, and I think I know why it's happening. I think I know how to fix it. Like if I were to reknit this garment, but I'm obviously not going to go and redo that because it's just at the beginning. So I would have to, I don't know, do some strange sweater surgery, and I don't think that I'm up for that, especially with a mohair garment. So I think that because now we're still not at home, so I don't have my blocking mats. So when we get home, I will try to block it with pins and see if it gets better. If not, I will thread an elastic through so that hopefully it lies a bit more flat. And then obviously if ever I write up this pattern, I will make sure to find a solution before that happens and potentially knit another sample. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's done. I just wove in all the ends, and so it's finally ready and good to go to be worn. So I am quite happy. And other than that, well, you can also see my second Linaria sock is blocking there. I think if I get the chance today and if the lighting cooperates, I might try to take some pictures. I was going to wait until we get back home to take the pattern pictures, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. We've been away from the house for 3 months now, and yeah, we had hope last week that everything was going to be done this week so we could move in again this weekend, but basically everything is going wrong. I won't talk about this too much because I'm sure no one is interested in my bathroom renovations, but yeah, like the things that we ordered months ago were wrong. Like for example, we have a shower that is, I don't remember exactly how wide, but it's like a strange dimension. So we ordered like a piece of glass to close the shower that is like a specific dimension with like a little door that you can like kind of close so that the water doesn't go everywhere. That one was supposed to take like 75% of that opening, and what we received, and I mean the person who installed it didn't know that it was the wrong thing, but they installed it anyways, and it's like less than 50% of that opening, which like I don't know how they decided that, yeah, we're gonna mount this, it looks fine, like it's not even functional. Yeah, just things like that, like one after the other, everything is wrong. So it's been a lot of frustration. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, everything is going to be fine in the end. Like the newer good pieces have been ordered, and so yeah, but I think we're probably going to be here for at least another month now. So yeah, all that to say that I might try to just take the pattern pictures now, even though that pattern I think is only going to come out at the end of March, so there's no rush. But yeah, sorry for the rambling. And what else? Now I am, or I was knitting on my mohair socks. I will show you the finished one. So this is the first one that is done. I'm knitting these with 3 strands of mohair held together, and or silk mohair, and I'm using my Tela socks pattern, which is a free pattern online that you can find in my Ravelry store. And the only modification that I did is instead of a slip stitch heel flap, I just did a stockinette stitch heel flap. And yeah, I'm really excited to have the second one. I'm almost done. I just finished the gusset, so now I just need to knit in the round until I reach the correct length to start the toe. And yeah, I'm really enjoying working on these. It's, you know, because it's not like 100% wool, you know, or what I'm trying to say, it's not a traditional sock yarn, so it is different, like it feels different in the hands, It's a bit less enjoyable, I would say, but it's just so soft and so fluffy that I'm enjoying it regardless. And I think my hands have gotten used to knitting with 3 strands of mohair at this point. So yeah, I'm excited about these, and I already have more plans to make more of these. I think it would look really nice in, like, if I were to use different leftover mohairs, like in very small quantities, and either like do a fade, that would be really cool, or even stripes. I have this like plan already in my mind with the color scheme. I think it would look really nice. But I have other exciting things to cast on. There's 2 different sock patterns that are in my mind. I'm just waiting for the yarn. One is a collaboration, and one is just something that I came up with, and I'm really excited to cast on. But 1, I'm waiting for the yarn for both of those projects, and 2, I would like to finish this one before I start something else. I do have a lot of different 9-inch circular needles for my socks, but yeah, I just think that having too many projects on the needles is not good for me, because I always end up with unfinished things. So yeah, I'm just trying to power through this sock. And the next thing that I want to work on is a summer top. So if you've been following along, sorry, the lighting is doing strange things. If you've been following along for some time, you'll remember that during the summer I was working on a darling, it's supposed to be a dress, a darling dress, but I am doing a top instead. And I think, yeah, I got it from home the other day, because we've been going there every weekend to paint and to, you know, mount furniture, etc. So yeah, I got it there, and I think I just need to knit a little bit more on the body, because it's a bit short right now. I mean, I could wear it like that, cropped with like high-waisted pants or skirts. I think I'm gonna make it just a little bit longer, and then I need to finish the, I think all around the neckline and armholes. Also at the hem, I think it's a picot bind off, picot edge. So I will get going on that, because I would like to finish it soon, because we're going on our honeymoon in April. We'll be going to Asia for 4 weeks, which is a bit crazy, but here in Italy, or at least in my husband's company where he works, he got a, I don't know how to say it, like when you get married, you get 2 weeks off work, which to me is unheard of. In Canada, they definitely don't give you 2 weeks when you get married. But yeah, we're going to take advantage of that, plus his other vacations. And yeah, go travel for 4 weeks. And I think in April, where we're going is going to be 20-ish degrees Celsius. So yeah, I need to start thinking about like what to bring, and that top would definitely be useful there. So yeah, looking forward to finishing that. And yeah, so I'll talk to you soon with hopefully a finished sock and this summer top back on my needles. Alright, next project. Alright, so I started my bind off for the darling dress that I'm making into a top, and it's curling a lot and I don't think blocking will fix it. So, because in the instructions we need to bind off all the stitches and then you pick up some stitches to make the picot bind off. And in the pattern, I think the reasoning behind that is that you need to pick up less stitches than what you end up casting off, or binding off. But one, it was actually very difficult to pick up all these stitches. And two, now my bind off is rolling a lot like this. And just sit like this. But it's rolling like that. So I think what I will do is undo my bind off, put the stitches back on the needles, and then switch to the smaller needles that you need to do the picot bind off, and do a few decreases until I reach what I think I should have, like however many stitches I need for my picot bind off, which is not indicated in the pattern. So yeah, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Like I didn't find the instructions super clear. So yeah, I don't know if it's just me who's not understanding something or what, or if it's just my yarn maybe it's not behaving like the one that is used in the pattern because it's not the same. Who knows, but I'm hoping that by undoing my bind off, putting back the stitches on the needle, doing decreases, then doing my bind off with a picot bind off, it's going to be fine. Fingers crossed. Alright, so I didn't film much of the process because it was a bit frustrating, but I did finish my darling top. So this is what it looks like. And I am not that pleased with it. And I think the fault is entirely mine. I chose a yarn that was not recommended in the pattern. And it's not even the same type of fiber that was recommended by the designer. And I was off gauge. And I did modifications. And I don't like it. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just not exactly what I had in mind. I'll do a little try on, but basically it's a bit too high here. I think that for me, I prefer when a tank top is a bit lower. Otherwise, it feels a bit like a PJ. I don't know, I get PJ vibes from this, which is not what I was going for. But again, I think that also my straps are a bit short, and because I had to modify the pattern a little bit for it to fit for my gauge, but I think it ended up being too short. And I don't know if you can see, but the armholes are like very, very tight because, so the construction of this, I don't remember exactly because I started knitting this months ago, but yeah, there's the strap, the body, obviously, and then you pick up stitches all the way around to do a picot bind off. And I think maybe I should have gone up at least one needle size for that, because for the strap I picked up one stitch every row, because at first I started picking up one stitch every few rows. I don't remember sorry, I don't remember exactly how many I skipped, But yeah, it was way too tight. So I decided to undo everything and to restart by picking up every stitch, and still it's too tight. Which I think has to do with the fact that my strap is just not long enough. Anywho, I'm sure I will get somewhere out of this, but yeah, it's just not what I envisioned. So it's a little bit sad, but we live and we learn, I guess. We knit and we learn. So yeah, I mean, worst case, I'll be wearing this as a PJ top. Let's see. And then the other thing that I was kind of excited to start working on again was this pillowcase. So this is a crochet pillowcase. And maybe you can see a bit like the motif when I put it in front of like a light surface like this. But I think I just realized that like when it's going to be on a pillowcase, you're not going to see anything. Like it's just, I think the yarn is just too dark, and it's a shame because I really like the pattern. So yeah, I think I may try it again in a different yarn, a lighter colored yarn, so that you can really see the motif. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna frog this, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Yeah, let's see. But I since have thought about like 3 other cushion covers that I want to knit. I actually started one of them and it's looking very promising. So yeah, I'll show that to you next time. I'm hoping to be able to film a regular knitting podcast sometime soon, because I have casted on already a few other things while I was finishing these knits. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you also spent some of January and February finishing whips. I didn't even know it was a thing, but apparently finish it February is something that people do. So let me know if you've also dedicated some time to doing that. And I think that's it for me for now. So I will see you next time for hopefully a regular knitting podcast. Bye bye.